All right, guys, the Arizona Cardinals, man. Oh man, this is tough. This is tough. The Arizona Cardinals, now maybe it turns into Nick Sirianni, but they're really a franchise with really not a lot of direction. They have they have some decent pieces in Walter Nolan and Paris Johnson and Trey McBride and Harrison. They need James Conner's old at running back and quarterback. They're a total mess. Whether, what are they going to do with Kyler Murray here? And now they hire Mike Lafleur. Mike is the brother of Matt Lafleur. He's an assistant, but he literally, his one-time calling plays was not very good at all. He was with the New York Jets, and you could say it's the New York Jets, but I believe it might have been with Rodgers after Nathaniel Hackett, or it might have even been it was before. It was with Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh, and he's been the Rams. He's been the Rams offensive coordinator in division. Just because you're the offensive guy on the Rams, probably like, could you be Zach Taylor? Now, Zach Taylor has a great quarterback. Mike Lafleur, sometimes the offensive coordinators are going to run out, and it's like, what offensive, it's almost like Nate Shieldhouse, he just failed on the Jets, and I just can't get that out of my mind, how bad that was. And it's a really tough job, and now you're hiring someone who's never called plays ever at a successful level. So Arizona needs a culture change, and they pass on Anthony Campanelli, who would have been a great, great hire. And now that maybe Campanelli didn't want to end up being there, and now they hire Mike LaFleur, who with the Jets was just abysmal with Zach Wilson. Maybe that was a quarterback, maybe it wasn't. I have no idea what we're going to do for a staff here. I'm not enamored at all with this selection here. If you're going to go young offensive coordinator, why don't you go with somebody who's kind of more mysterious? Why don't you go with somebody who doesn't have scars on their resume? Why don't you go with if you're going to go young offensive coordinator, really hasn't called plays, why don't you go Grant Udinski, Davis Webb? Now, maybe they both said no in this process. I think there's younger and better offensive coordinators out there. I think Dan Pitcher is out there. I just think everybody's just hiring from, the Rams or just these West Coasty types. And if it wasn't Clint Kubiak, it's just, just does nothing for me, personality-wise. I don't know. Arizona, you go from Gannon, and I know Gannon didn't win games, and this is the toughest job in all of football. You're coaching against McDonald, McVay, and Shanahan. You're coaching against good quarterbacks. You're coaching against terrific defenses. You're coaching in the toughest division in all of football. You don't have a quarterback, so a lot of it factors in, how tough the job is. Maybe if you were going to the Steelers, maybe it would be a different fit. I don't know, man. It's how much of it is Sean McVay and how much of it is Mike LaFleur. And his older brother's a decent football coach. He's fine. He's probably 10th best in the NFL, Matt. So, man, oh, man. I think this is a very lukewarm hire. Very lukewarm hire. Was with McVay, Shanahan, and is he the guy? Is he a guy? And I almost wanted to see him, how great would it have been if he ventured out and really challenged himself, and went to another spot and maybe called plays. But this method worked, and not a lot of people wanted the Bidwell job. Not a lot of people wanted Arizona. Quarterback problem, overrated wide receivers out there, maybe with Harrison in the NFL. Harrison's got to be better in the NFL, drafted number 4 overall, better production, better catching the football. Still has a chance, but you were trying with Gannon. Gannon was just so probably bitter towards the players. Like if Gannon would have been more well-liked, I believe, this is my personal opinion off of no sources, if Gannon was more well-liked and more motivating, I think that Gannon didn't do terrible. They lost a bunch of close games. It's a really hard job. They are playing with Jacoby Brissett. They have no quarterbacks there. And now you're deciding just to fire a coach and you don't even really have a good one. It's not like you really had LaFleur planned out at all. I mean, look at how long this process took, total mess. So a lot of this is about the Cardinals' dysfunction, and then some of it is about Matt LaFleur himself, or Mike Lafleur. Just, he'll have to prove me wrong. I'm just not, enamored with the hire. So, we'll see. It's another Sean McVay assistant. We shall see, but I don't think that this is going to go all that well at all. And maybe it's not, ironically, Mike LaFleur's fault, but I want to see him really get creative calling plays. I want to see some good offense from LaFleur in this new stop. I want to see how he manages an organization. Maybe he's a really good CEO. Maybe the press conference will blow you away. But gut reaction right now, if it was Campanelli, Anthony Campanelli would bring in a whole new culture, and Campanelli would actually have a chance to build a solid football team. Campanelli's kind of in the Vrabel, he's kind of in the Dan Campbell-esque culture-setting kind of guys. But this is a tough one for Arizona right now.